Hey, I decided I was going to do something special this time. But anyway, before that, welcome to Toon'd In, where I review cartoons, no matter how new, no matter how old, no matter the cost. In light of the Godzilla vs. Kong movie that has recently been released, I decided I was going to kind of analyze two related animated series at the same time, and really look in, see, have my own little Kong versus Godzilla matchup and see which one wins there. To be around the same time, from kind of range of 1998 to what was this? Pardon me on this. Oh, okay, yeah. From 98 to 2001. I had to look that up. Around that general area, there was a Godzilla animated series and a Kong animated series that released in that window. And it was interesting that they went head to head. Sort of. First, the Godzilla series, which was based off of the Matt Broderick 1998 movie with the reworked American Godzilla that it didn't really do very well, but that's okay. They had this series released for that on Fox Kids. I remember this. I don't want to say I grew up with this, but I kind of did. I watched this series. I remember this series. I watched it. And I remember commercials for the Kong one that I'll cover a little bit later. But I did watch this one. And I will say, if you did not like the live action movie, you still might like this one. The Godzilla animated series from '98. Godzilla animated series from '98 actually improved that Godzilla. It improved that Godzilla. It expanded on that lore, and I was actually excited for it. I remember that this series, the Godzilla series, I was looking forward to seeing how they were going to cover the other traditional Toho kaiju, modernized in the American fashion. I don't think they ever really did that. And so there's a disappointment there, but the possibilities were there. I would have loved to see the other ones. Rodan, Ghidorah, Mothra. None of that actually happened as far as I'm aware in this series. And that's a disappointment, but it is still dramatically improved on a flop movie. The Kong series, the Kong animated series was interesting in its own right because it didn't really have a movie to base itself off of. Peter Jackson's Kong came years after this series. So what it did was it started basically from scratch because no kid would have even cared about the 1933 film that this was a sequel to. So in that regard, I'm going to say Kong wins this from a performance standpoint, only because they started from nothing and made people care. Whereas the Godzilla series took something that was already in the public's opinion and improved it. So yes, I think actually that in that category, whatever you categorize that as, let's put a point for Kong. Kong wins that round, I think. So Kong wins that round. Nate, but they both ran 2 seasons. They both had 40 episodes. So you can't really. It's like those are draws in those categories. I knew from a personal standpoint growing up, I was a lot more excited about the Godzilla series. I was like, King Kong's a thing, but I really didn't care. I didn't care enough about the big boy ape. I really didn't. He existed. It was just me being a young dumb kid. But overall, I do think Godzilla wins this one. Well, I guess it might come out to a tie since this is the final category and I'm giving it to Godzilla. But a little special note. I loved in the Godzilla series, I remember this one line specifically. It really carried me. It was an episode where they were going to Japan. They were investigating a kaiju appearance in Japan. Since the movie Godzilla was based in America, they were actually going to Japan for this episode. And they're traveling in a plane, and Godzilla's swimming across the ocean following them. And a commercial airliner goes up ahead, goes up above, and a little kid looks out the window, goes, "Mommy, Mommy, Godzilla!" And his mother goes, "Oh son, what? Oh son, don't be silly. What would Godzilla be doing in Japan?" Which was hilarious to me, just because Godzilla. It's a fun joke. Godzilla's a Japanese creation, so it's a fun joke. I think that wins it for me. So if Kong won first round, everything else was a draw. Godzilla wins it. Yeah. If we're putting it up to a duel, neither one really wins. But I do encourage you to check either series out if you have the inclination. I'm sure you can find them somewhere, and it might be fun to see who ends up on top in your opinion. In the meantime, this of course was Josh the Fox Mills. Yes, I did something different and I thought fun this time, and I hope you enjoyed my quick analysis of, well, not very deep analysis, but a quick look at both of these legendary monsters series back in the early 2000s and late 90s. And I hope to see you next time. And until then, stay tuned.